The final day of Genius Week had arrived. The school auditorium was filled once again, but this time the mood was different. There was respect in the air. No one saw Elijah as just a janitor anymore. They saw him as something greater, a fighter, survivor, a quiet genius, a powerful welcome. As Elijah walked in, students began to clap. It started slow, then louder. Then everyone stood up, a standing ovation, before the contest even started. Even some teachers joined. Elijah paused, humbled. He looked around the room, then nodded once and took his seat on stage. Across from him sat Mr. Collins, defeated, arms crossed. He was only there because of school protocol, but he already knew this wasn't his stage anymore. The principal speaks. The principal stepped forward. Her voice was calm but strong. This week we saw something rare, a man who was judged by his job, but proved his worth through wisdom. Today we do not just crown a winner. Today we learn a lesson. She turned to Elijah. Mr. Green, are you ready for your final challenge? Elijah nodded. Yes, ma'am. The final challenge. A real problem. The screen behind them lit up, but this time, there was no math problem, no logic puzzle, no history question. Instead, the screen said, "Today's challenge, teach us something real." You have 5 minutes. You may speak freely. The audience leaned forward. Mr. Collins scoffed. This is ridiculous. But Elijah stood up slowly. He didn't go to the whiteboard. He didn't need it. He walked to the center of the stage and looked at every face in the room. Elijah's final lesson. When I was young, Elijah began, I used to think being smart meant knowing all the answers, solving the fastest, winning the most. He smiled gently. But life doesn't care how fast you are. Life throws problems at you with no formula. There are no answer sheets when you're broke, hungry, or alone. The room was silent. I was judged, not for my mind, but for my skin. I was pushed down, not for my actions, but for my background. And I stayed silent, because I thought no one would believe me. He paused, then looked directly at Mr. Collins. But sometimes silence isn't peace, it's fear. Students nodded slowly. Some wiped tears. I spent years cleaning your floors. I watched you laugh at me. But I never stopped learning, never stopped believing in math, in truth, in people. He turned to the crowd. You see, intelligence isn't how many books you've read. It's how much light you give to others. It's knowing pain and still choosing kindness. Elijah took a deep breath and smiled. If you want to be a genius, don't just solve equations. Solve the hate. Solve the fear. Solve the idea that someone's job makes them less than human. The crowd stood again. This time, not just clapping, they were crying, they were cheering, they were changed.